Is anybody out here? Hope it's not too dark in here. You know, this is a short video for student pilot solo. This is my first solo flight. I took this part of the video after it, so I know for sure that I didn't crash or anything, so that's good. And just wanted to show you guys, you know, if you're wondering what it's like doing flight school in Alaska, I'm doing the program here at UAA. And let's see, other than that, I'm not going to do a lot of editing in this video. It's mostly just going to be, you know, the flying and the lesson. And unfortunately, I don't have the audio hookup for the mic, so we'll see how it goes. Brakes, circuit breakers, left one, advanced master, fuel selector valves on both. Shaft valve, mixture. Clear prop.
So I just did a couple of takeoff and landings with my CFI. We came back around and landed. I pulled into the UAA parking lot. He jumped out. He's going to go inside and listen on the radio. And I'm going to do a couple of takeoff and landings solo. So here I'm just going through the startup checklist.
Master on.
Getting all the flight instruments up and running and getting the radio set. I listen for updated weather information on the radio and make some adjustments to the altimeter.
Flight instruments check and set. Radios and avionics. We're good. Transponder on alt. Exterior lights. Alright, brakes are good. Narrow ground Skyhawk 35339er at UAA with information hotel 2 runway 25 requesting full stop at the taxi decks squawking 0505, and this is student pilot solo. Runway 25 taxi via November Kilo Skyhawk 59.
Alright, we just talked to ground. They gave us the clearance to taxi to the runway, which is about 50 meters away from the parking lot I was in.
Brakes are good. Seats and seatbelts. Grabbing doors. Flight controls. Elevator trim. Roll temp.
And real quick before we get started, I do an engine run up and another checklist, just to make sure that there aren't any issues with the engine. You can see other planes coming in for landings while I'm going through my checklist. Merrill in Anchorage has a couple of different flight schools that use it as their primary. There's also a lot of people with their personal planes here. The state troopers use this runway. There's a couple other caravans that come in and out.
Alright, full meter and clock. Announcer panel. Instruments. Check and set. Flaps are up.
It was super busy when we came out here at first. I was really surprised that they gave me clearance to take off immediately. I look both ways twice before I come out, even though I got clearance. I don't know. You can never be too sure with some people. You can see how low the sun is in the sky. It's even though it's only like 3:30 right now, it gets dark super early in the winter in Alaska. Right, so I just turned onto the downwind leg. The traffic pattern here I maintain around 900 feet. So this is a normal traffic pattern. I turn base and come in over the Costco parking lot, off to Bar. Oftentimes the traffic pattern changes when it gets really busy at Merrill, and you'll actually see that later on in the video. This is what a normal traffic pattern looks like, and this final leg was about half as long as my other two landings. Unfortunately, I had a really bad camera angle, so it's kind of difficult to see where I do my round out and flare.
Skyhawk 35329er, clear runway 25, adds Echo to runway 25. Runway 25, taxi via November Kilo, Skyhawk 329er.
Since I'm doing full stop taxi backs, I actually come to a full stop landing, get clearance to go back to the runway, and then get clearance to take off again.
Skyhawk 35329er holding short of 25 kilo. Left traffic, quick takeoff runway 25, Skyhawk 359er.
So you can see in this video the weather is really incredible right now. The only problem was that it was actually so cold. The low temperature actually almost ended up canceling this flight, but The weather had been really difficult in November and December. And oftentimes what you'll see on Merrill when flights get canceled for days and days and days and weeks, when you get a really nice day like this, pretty much everybody is out flying all at once. So earlier in the day, there was 3, 4, sometimes 5 or 6 airplanes lined up waiting for takeoff clearance. The traffic thinned out a little bit by the time I got to my solo portion, which is good. Right, so I just confirmed with ATC that they were going to call my base leg. So what that means, because there were a number of people in the traffic pattern that the controller was trying to maintain separation from each other, he actually had me extend further out, and he told me when to turn for the base leg. So I cut out a couple of clips from the approach. It ended up being a really long ways in on this one. Kind of a bummer when I'm coming in to do these landings as I'm looking up to look down the runway. It's making my GoPro angle towards the visor so we don't get as good of a view here. You can really see how, even though it's only about 4 o'clock in this video, and it's starting to get dark real quick here.
Merrill Tower, Skyhawk 35, you can enter, moving short of 25 takeoff. Runway 25, clear for takeoff, Skyhawk 35, 50 enter.
One of the fun things about learning how to fly in Alaska, just take a look at that runway. You see the center line? It makes it a lot of fun learning all the different markings for the taxiways and the runways when they look like this. Incredible view of Anchorage and Cook Inlet from up here. My final landing, there ended up being traffic on this one as well, so I did end up extending the downwind leg. ATC called my base, and the final leg ended up being a lot longer. You know, honestly, I'd say one of the real great things about learning to fly in Alaska is the conditions of the conditions that you're flying in, and how busy Merrill is. You know, as far as Class D airports go, it's up there. It actually adds a lot of depth to your training. You have to take the weather management a lot more seriously than you would in a place where every single day is the same. You have to put a lot more thought into your pre-flight planning. And also, you have to really put a lot more thought into good practices on the ground. You know, like just look at the taxiway here. You know, making out the markings on the taxiway and the runway. You have to be a lot more safety conscious, and I think that you end up putting a lot more thought into the material and the lessons, and it's a lot more difficult to do it this way, but you end up taking away a lot more from it, I think. I definitely wouldn't want to learn how to fly in a place like, you know, Arizona, for example, and then come up to Alaska and get a job with the regional airlines and just go straight into it. I think you'd be really behind the curve as far as it goes, like learning how to fly in these conditions. So yeah, just pulled into the UAA parking lot and going through a shutdown checklist. And there it is, my first solo flight in the books. So yeah, thanks for flying with me.